uh, talk about a few things here. This is actually my first or second time doing this, so not really perfect without it being I really um, enjoy talking about the Bible and everything. So that's basically what we talk about here. New King James Version is basically what I go by. So you know, do not have it. No big deal to worry about. Just basically just letting everybody know where I go, where I come from and everything. Um, I watch a lot of YouTube and everything. Like, watch a lot of great stories and everything like that. For me, the biggest thing that I really watch is indeed, the great stories that Jesus performed, the miracles, the parables, and everything that he done. Um, the biggest one that I really like is Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. This this I feel is really exciting. It's a great story. Um, it's in Gospel of John, John chapter 11. For those really not familiar with this story, um, some people think in this story that the biggest thing only happened is Jesus raises him from the dead. Which is basically is what happened, but it's basically not all that happens. Um, like I said, John chapter 11. Um, basically where I like to start this at. Um, is that Jesus does get the word about his great friend Lazarus being sick. Of course, at this point, I don't really know if anyone knows exactly what was wrong with Lazarus at this point. Everyone just knows that he was sick. No one really knows, how he died, what he died of, or anything like that. Um, Jesus, of course, at this time is with his disciples, is with them there in the land called Judea, and they're talking. He's talking to them here in verse 9 of chapter 11. Jesus answered, "Are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of the world. But if a man walk in darkness or light, he stumbled because there is no light in him." People basically think that he's saying, of course, everybody knows that daytime you can see where you're going, nighttime you can't. That's basically not what he is talking about. Anyways, keep going on. These things said he, and after that he said unto them, Our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of the sleep. So basically, for a lot of people that really know, death basically is nothing but a sleep. That's basically all it is. Um, I know it's hard to believe and hard to imagine, but in this story, Jesus proves to a lot of people that death is only a sleep. Um, and then one of his disciples say back to Jesus, "If he sleepeth, he doeth well." And then Jesus, how about Jesus spake of death? And Jesus then tells them that Lazarus is dead, which was basically, he basically followed all this. Jesus and Lazarus were really close. They were really great friends. Um, and then Jesus tells them. Jesus goes back to where he was. Um, And of course, at this time, he's been dead for 4 or 5 days. Well, the Bible says 4. He's been dead 4 days by now. The biggest thing that I really, really like about this story is that, yes, Jesus does show compassion toward this. The word does get back to Martha and Mary that Jesus is coming back, or that he is on his way. And Martha said unto Jesus, Lord, if thou had been here, my brother had not died. Now, of course, this is Martha talking to Jesus. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou ask of God, it will be given. Jesus said unto her, thy brother shall rise again. Now, see, I guess this is the biggest point that I would like to try to bring out today. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection, I am the life, and he that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Blessed thou this. Alright, this is basically John 11:25. This is basically where I really, really want to hit, really, really want to touch at. I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Basically, what I really, really want to touch on, he's basically saying, we all know that we were all dead to sin. We were all, we all have sinned. We all come short of the glory of God. The biggest thing is, though, I'm really, really trying to find this real fast. The biggest thing, anyways, is anyways, the biggest thing, he is not talking, of course, of physical death. He is talking, we were dead to sin. That's why Jesus came to this earth. He came to this earth to seek and to save that which was lost. We were all dead to sin. Of course, before this time, Jesus did arrive. It was under the old covenant, the Old Testament. But of course, we all know Jesus, once Jesus, he hung, he bled, and he died upon that cross, the old covenant went away, and that made now the new covenant. So basically, he is almost talking to Christians at this point. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall live. See, we were all dead. That's basically what I get out of this. We all were dead, and now we believe in him. And now we shall never die. And that's what he is talking about here in 26. And whosoever believeth and believeth in me shall never die. That's the way he's saying, if we believe in him and we do basically what we are told to do through him, then we shall never die. Which is basically how we look at it. Anyways, let's get back to the story here. I'm not wanting to skip ahead a few verses, but basically, anyone out there who wants to finish the story, you can basically go through it. The biggest thing was Jesus went into the city to where they were. Now you gotta remember, though, they met Jesus on the way. In verse 30, And now Jesus was not yet come into the city or into the town, but was yet in that place where Martha met him. So basically, here it is. It's like you're walking, someone meets you along the way. That's how it goes. And then they go to where the house was, and in here, and then Mary was come where Jesus was, and saw him, and she fell at his feet, saying unto him, Lord, if thou had been here, my brother had not died. So, she's saying the same thing that Martha said again. And I really, really think this is so funny to me, and it's so weird. Here it is. Jesus just found out one of his best friends died. And the only thing that Jesus says to them is found in verse 34. Where have you laid him? That's all that Jesus is more than likely concerned about. Where have you laid him? So basically, here it is, though. They go to the tomb because there were no graves at this point. There were just tombs. That's where Jesus was even in a tomb, and it was guarded with a stone. So even, here we go, verse 39. Jesus said, Take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that which was dead, said unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh. He had been dead for 4 days. Jesus said unto her, Say I not unto thee, that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of God. Basically, at this point, he's just basically telling her, remove the stone and you'll see the glory of God, which is basically what he does. The stone is removed. Now at this time, I'm sure there was a lot of people there watching this happen. Of course, we know you got you got his disciples with him. I'm pretty sure there was other people behind watching all this. Jesus lifted his eyes to heaven, and he prayed to his Father. Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me, and I know that thou hast heard me always. But because of the people which stand by, I say it that they may believe that thou hast sent me. So basically what he's trying to do, he's basically praying to his Father so that people would believe what is about to happen, that Jesus did not do it by himself. And then basically, Jesus, he basically says, Lazarus, come forth. Of course, we all know he comes up out. He's just basically laying there. So basically, he raises right up. And basically, Jesus says, loose him and let him go. Now, at this point, a lot of people consider the story over. Jesus raised him from the dead. Here comes Jesus. He raises him from the dead. End of the story. I prove my point. Basically, that is nowhere near the point. That I take different things from this than I know anyone out there will. Basically, this is proven to me. To me, when you're down and out, like this story here. The brother died, and here it is. Though people are wondering why is he waiting? Why did Jesus wait 4 days? But the most important lesson to learn out of this is Jesus waited, but he showed up. It might not happen today. It might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen next week. The important thing is, though, it will happen. Jesus could have probably waited a year or two, but it still would have happened. He did this for a reason. That's how I look at it. He did this so that people would know that he is, that Jesus did save him. And like I said, go back, verse 25 and 26. I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall live. Every one of us like I've said this before, every one of us at one point in time have been dead. That's just basically, that's the truth. You could read in here that we were dead, we were dead to our sins. Many people do not believe that Jesus came to this earth. People believe this is just a storybook. Most people do not believe that this is, none of this is true. We celebrated Easter a little over 2 weeks ago. Of course, Easter was the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. That was a wonderful story. I call it story, because basically, you have to look at, you have to look at what happened. This is a life that Jesus lived, and it's before us. Actually, this whole thing about Jesus being raised, a lot of people think that never even happened, but it's all wrong. Just trying to hit a few more points here real fast. But right now, basically, I'm going to end. Comments, questions, anything you want to say or anything, you can do it. Tomorrow's Sunday. I might hop back on tomorrow. I might throw another one or two together tonight and go from there. But I'm going to try to get some more done. It's just, like I said, it's my first time doing it. So it's just going to take me a little bit of time to get this stuff rolling. But I'm going to end for now. Hope everyone at least got something out of this, and I hope to hear some responses from some people.